Retired Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg joins me now. Will Israel be able to take down Hamas and its leadership once and for all?
Yeah, Stuart, thanks for having me. Well, I think the answer is yes right now. And I think they're doing a pretty good job. And there was a comment just made about how precise the operation was in Gaza near Rafah, and when they went directly to the crossing sites, which was really smart by the Israeli military. And if you look at the maps, what they're doing is they're doing a very surgical attack into Rafah to eliminate senior leadership. And look, they're going to eventually get all the leaders of Hamas, and that's what you need to do. Are you going to get every single last terrorist? Probably not. But you can take out the leadership, and that includes Sinwar, who's a leader currently in Gaza, down in Rafah. And actually, I would say that includes Haniya, who happens to be the senior Hamas officer in Qatar. And he's going to come down too, because I think they're going to go back to what they did after the Munich massacre when they went after the terrorist leaders at that time. So they're going to have to go in there. They're going to have to eradicate Hamas leadership, and then it's going to be a long process. And I think taking down Rafah is actually not the end. It's actually the end of the beginning, because then now they're going to have to figure out where they're going to go into the future. And just a quick comment about the hostages. I'm not convinced the hostages, most of them are still alive. That's the reason we've gone from 130 to 33 dead or wounded, whatever it's going to be. And I think that's going to be the real tragedy when you see they were not able to recover all the hostages.
The administration is reported, according to the Wall Street Journal, the administration is delaying shipments of precision-guided weapons to Israel. Doesn't that make Israel's job much harder? You know, you need precision-guided weapons if you're going into urban warfare. So isn't this an occasion where we are denying weapons in the middle of a fight to our principal ally? And I don't think we've ever done that before.
No, we've never done it before, Stuart. And look, you know, to be very candid with you, it's dumber than dirt. I mean, the fact of the matter is, what they need is precision weapons. And the reason why you need precision weapons, it cuts back on collateral damage. Read civilian casualties. And that's what they want to do. And for us to deny that, it basically kind of slows the whole process. The intent behind it was very simple. I know what the administration was trying to do. They were trying to slow roll the Israelis to not go into Rafah and to continue the offensive. Instead of saying to the Israelis, we're going to give you everything you need to finish this operation, we've just done the opposite. They've tried to straddle a line. I mean, there's no moral equivalence here. There's good guys and bad guys, there's right and there's wrong, and the Israelis are the good and Hamas is the bad. And we haven't, this administration hasn't picked up on that. It's tried to hold both hands, you know, and moderate.
Today,
right.
The president makes remarks at the Holocaust Memorial. He's going to do that in a couple of hours. Do you think he should address directly what Israel is now doing today in Rafah?
Sure he should, because Netanyahu just did it on Monday when he went to Vad Yasham, which is the Holocaust Memorial in Israel. And when he was talking about it, and I think maybe the president could pick up on his words, when Netanyahu said, never again is now. And never again is the term we used at the end of World War II, and we were never going to see this happen again to the Jews from the Holocaust. And the president should address that. But this is the time for the president of the United States to stand up and say, without question, we're fully behind Israel, whatever it takes, not to actually equivocate or do any moderation at all. This is the time to stand. And also, oh, by the way, Stuart, remember, there are American hostages kept as well. And on 7 October, they killed Americans as well. Here's one of the reasons why people need to understand the hostages are so important to Israel. When you look at Israel, you know, the population difference is about 30x, which means when they have 100 hostages, think of having 3,000 hostages if you're in the United States. And that's the reason why it becomes so personal in Israel and why they're fighting so hard to get their people home.
Domestic politics don't interfere in this one. Keith Kellogg, thank you very much, sir. We'll see you soon.